everyone. Good afternoon, morning, evening, wherever you might be watching. Thank you for being here. We are so excited. My name is Marva B. I am the host. I am the CEO and founder of Black Link Magazine, and this is the Black Link Experience. We'd like to welcome Miss Jamila Ewing here, who is the author of Protocol, who is a mother, who is a wife. We are so excited to have you. Welcome, Jamila.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. The new book is called The Prototype. Everybody go and get yours.
And I said, let me correct myself. I said the protocol, didn't I? Or did I say prototype?
It could be the protocol too. Prototype.
It is called the prototype.
The protocol that you go and get it today.
That's the protocol.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk a little bit about the book and what you have going on. But before we do that, go ahead and tell the people who you are and what you do.
Okay, well, my name is Jamila Ewing. I am the author of The Prototype. It's my first novel, doing really well on the charts. Also, I am a beauty consultant. I do consultant work for photo shoots and weddings and things like that. I spent over 20 years as a hairstylist and a salon owner. And so, I managed to take that time off when COVID happened, when we all had to shut down, and turn it into a very, successful consultant business. And so, excited to be doing that. And this author trail has been like incredible. So it's been a blessing.
That is awesome. Yeah, COVID just took us all by surprise, but it was what you did with that time, I think. And I talked to a lot of people, and some said, while it was a horrific thing that happened, their business thrived in, they just kind of got creative and it worked for them. So glad to know that you were able to use your time wisely to benefit you. So let's talk about Prototype. I want to just jump right in. First of all, I want to know how you came up with the name Prototype. And then let's just talk about where you were and what's it all about without giving it all away.
Okay, well, I'll do my best. The Prototype is a song that I love by one of my favorite groups, hip hop groups, Outkast.
Yes.
And the words in the song seemed appropriate for the two main characters, Nisa and Jadira. And so they're on the search for, they're on the prowl for a love they're not even sure exists. And so it's not a conventional love story, but it is indeed a love story. It's a journey about healing, about finding your voice, about knowing your worth, and then knowing that you are deserving of all of it.
Oh my gosh. I cannot wait to get that book in my hands.
I can't wait to.
I'm so excited about it because when I read, the overview and it talked about support and the support that the character wasn't getting, Jadira wasn't getting from her husband. And I talk to ladies all the time. I come by way of public speaking for women empowerment. And a lot of that is that they want to do things, or the things that they're doing, their husband do not support them. I'm blessed that my husband does support what I do, but I can imagine that feeling, right? It's already hard to get people to support what you do, but when it's your husband, let's talk about how you came up with that concept.
Right, absolutely. Well, as I stated earlier, I am from the African-American salon experience. And I had to kind of continue to do roller sets or braids sometimes and listen to a plethora of sisters talk about what their ex did, what their husband is doing, what their boyfriend is doing, what their girlfriend is going through, what their aunt is going through. And, everyone asks, there's a character in the book, his name's Carlos. Mm-hmm. Carlos is someone who, without giving too much away, he struggles with being or wearing the title husband. Sometimes we come across guys who aren't really ready to be a husband, but they want the family image or they want the appearance of husband without really knowing what it takes or what the criteria is to be a husband and to lead your family. And so I would listen to sisters complain about just everything they didn't like about a husband or a boyfriend or a man or, someone they were dating. And, someone, I came across someone who read the book and she said, Jamila, you know what? That Carlos, man, he is something. It reminded me of a toxic relationship I had, and I had to carry because he was so unsupportive. He wasn't positive, and it was a drain. And I wanted the relationship more than him. And I found myself working to keep him happy. And, and we just get behind the chair and, we listen. A lot of times, and someone asked me who Carlos is in real life. I said, he's an amalgamation of everybody's ex. Everybody I would ever hear about in the salon. Girl, guess what Robert did? Or guess what Ricardo said? Or, and I would just be doing my little work. I would stay to myself and I'd be like, oh, thank God my husband's a good man, because I could never put up with something like that. So the title of husband is a very sacred term. Yeah. The title of wife is even more sacred. Yeah. And so, my mother and my father were married for 42 years until he passed last year. And I got to watch him. He wasn't perfect. No one is. These older Black men are from a generation where they were tough. Yep. But lucky for me, and he treated my mother like he set her up right. He made sure she went shopping when she needed to. She didn't have to lift a finger. She had the option to stay home, and she took that, and she would rather be a wife, because for her, life is more than just a job. Life is family. Yeah. And he understood that and was happy to carry the torch and be the provider and the protector of the family. And so I'm the same as my mother in that regard.
That's awesome. Our stories are kind of alike when it comes to that. My parents married 50 years until my father passed away. Oh. So we've always had our father in the home. Yeah, thank you. It was tough, but God, he's resting now. So, but yeah, my examples and the things that I do and the things that I carry on in my family to my children and my husband are what my mother put in front of me as being a wife, and what my father set as the standard for a husband, what his husband's supposed to be like. And a lot of women, and no shade to anybody, just they don't have that. And so I was talking to a lady, and she said that she was trying to do her business and be successful, and the marriage was so toxic that she couldn't move forward. The moment that she had to make the decision that he wasn't going to change, whatever, they got a divorce, and her business flourished. So not to say that marriage is a bad thing. We're just saying you have to identify what's good for your whole self, inside out, for everything that matters in your life. Right. And make the decision from there. I can't wait to get this book. I cannot wait.
I can't you to read it.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. So hopefully we'll get to put this in the magazine and on the website, and kind of help you get the word out there. So let's continue to talk about the towards the end of the book. How did you end? Like, what emotions did you go through, knowing that you are a married woman and life is pretty good for you as far as marriage, but did you put yourself in other women's shoes? How did you, from the shop or wherever, how did you decide to end the book without telling it all? I mean, let's just talk a little bit about it.
Well, there's a mentor of mine that used to come in, before I retired. And, I have to shout out my mentor, Dr. Jamila Ewing. I love her so much, but she said something as I was writing. I wrote the book back in 2019, and she said something to the effect of, I just really get tired of people thinking that if you're single, then you're cursed, or you're an undesirable woman, or, and she was talking about a friend who was going through something, at her job. And she said, don't you know that you're enough? Don't you know? I wish we knew who we were. And I wish we knew that we were enough to make God sufficient for all of our needs. And I wish we could see our worthiness through our own eyes, the way, other people can, and I just really do believe that once we come into the realization of who we are, then doors will open. You will realize you are deserving of all of it. And you know what? And she also said, don't diminish yourself. You should never diminish yourself. You should never, dim your light to make others feel big. And it stayed with me. And I had to put those elements, without giving too much the story away, but making God sufficient for everything.
I believe it.
You know, when you put all your hope in one person or in your children, or someone's going to come in and rescue me, or someone's going to save me, honey, save yourself. Choose yourself.
You know, I believe that we can't be good for anyone if we're not good. And so I feel like a lot of times women, I'm not saying that I had before marriage, what didn't feel kind of that way, that I wanted to have somebody. I wanted to have somebody, needed to have somebody. But that's just so far from the truth. We have to get ourselves, our mind, body, and soul. I'm not talking about just going to get a massage, get your nails done. I'm talking about the whole package, get ourselves together.
Self-care.
And we'll find, yes, self-care, and we'll find that we're just fine. Whether God sends him now, later, or never, that we're good. We're good. And we don't need to have the label as a wife or to have a husband to be great and be all that God has created us to be.
Absolutely.
So I love that. I love that. What do you give, or what do you tell women about love? Because women get hurt and they shut down. Even men do that. They shut down. There's not love. There's no such thing as love. How help them through that?
Well, you know, when I was working in a salon, you know, or just talking to my friends, or, you know, I'm a music person. So Mary has this line. I'm a diehard Mary J. Blige fan. And she always says, you got to love yourself before you can love somebody else.
True.
You got to be with yourself and sit in yourself and tolerate yourself before you send that part to someone else. Because it won't work. You know, it won't work out. You know?
Yes. I'm so sorry to interrupt. This is
oh no, you're fine.
Conversation.
I see you got an idea.
But I think when you say you have to be your authentic self. We can't pretend to be something. We can't pretend that we're happy. We have to be our authentic self and who we really are. And that is, you tell me what you think. You have to do some soul searching, dig deep within, figure out who you are. You have to have a relationship with God or whoever your higher power is to hear him speak to you.
Absolutely.
That's when you become, and when you take heed to all that, I think that's when you become your whole true authentic self.
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I love music too. I'm a lover. Mary J, that's my homegirl. She don't even know it, but my homegirl. So I do think, and music, it's an outlet. And, you know, for whatever emotion, I say this a lot, but it's a go-to, you know, it's a part of self-care, I think. Just getting away. I think so too. Yeah, just get away and do you.
And speaking of Mary, I want to say she's my table of contents is a playlist. And so I want to say Mary J. Blige, What's the 411 is the second chapter. I don't know if your viewers can see that.
But you know what?
She's the second chapter.
I love that.
So the whole entire table of contents is a playlist.
Wow.
And so it's on Spotify as well, for your viewers to check in. It's 16 chapters and it's 16 songs that you want to just kind of, you know, listen to. It sets the tone for each chapter you're going to experience.
Very unique.
So I had to include my girl. You know, we love Mary.
Of course.
Oh, so she had to be in the playlist, or it wouldn't have worked out.
Love her life. That's my homegirl. That's my homegirl.
I love Mary.
So, where can people find the book?
The book is available at Target online. It's also available at Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com for Nook, PrototypeTheNovel.com.
The novel.com.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what do you want to leave with people? Like, what do you feel is most important for women? What's most important in their life? Okay, we get the self-care, and you got to do that. But what else? What else?
My idea of self-care isn't the most conventional. I know we like to get massages and go to yoga, get our hair done and our nails and pedis and things like that. But sometimes self-care for me is saying no.
Ooh.
Absolutely not, with no explanation. with a hair flip and all right, have a good one, y'all. And that's that. No. Or sometimes taking a day off with nothing on the schedule, not even laundry. Okay. And sitting there and watching the power marathon if you feel like it, and just saying, you know what, I'm going to do me today. I care about everyone else all day. I worry about the bills and the business of things. And you got to call mama back and tend to your garden. And, sometimes it's cool to just lie in bed with your cozy robe on and your glasses. If you want to journal that self-care, if you do choose to walk around your garden and pull weeds out because it makes you feel a sense of peace, or if you take a walk, like my husband and I, we love to take walks. Mm-hmm. And it is just so energy clearing, that and maybe burning some sage from time to time. But sometimes when, you're feeling down or you're feeling anxious, a good walk will just kind of put you right back where you need to be. I know that's what I do when I have writer's block. Yeah. And I walk, for a second or two. And I'm like, okay, now I know what the next chapter should be, or I know what the next line should be now. Yeah. So my process is to kind of just clear my head first and then get right back to it.
Absolutely. So you said, say no. Women carry the weight of the world on their shoulders, and we do and try to take care of everybody. And it's just, we don't know how to say no. And absolutely learn to activate our no and not feel bad about it. So if we said no, I can't do it respectfully. I can't do it right now. The answer is no, and leave it alone.
Absolutely.
I mean, who can get mad at that? You can't.
Right.
And then
it's self-preservation.
Right.
It's self-preservation.
So you don't care who gets mad. Today it's a no. And
that's none of my business if you're mad or not.
That's right. This is about me.
You know what? No. Have a good day. Boom. Okay.
Boom. In that order. That's it. Yeah.
And so we do. And how you feel about it is none of my business.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right. And but we struggle with that. And I think that if we could start to say no when we feel like we need to say no, instead of saying, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and do it, even though I don't want to, just say no, walk away, take care of yourself, and promise you they'll need you again and you'll feel like it maybe. So
absolutely. And you'll get calls. Yeah. I used to have a client way back in the day, and she used to do nails. Mm-hmm. And she said, Jamilah, I had to fire someone. And I said, fire someone? You're a nail technician. What do you mean? We need the money. We work every day for the money. She said, Jamilah, you know what? I don't care about any of that. This client is rude, disrespectful. And she said, you know what? It ain't about the money. Mm. It's her energy she brings in here. Mm. And I don't want to deal with her anymore. She doesn't want to tip, and she makes me want to do the most. She wants me to do the most work. And she said, and I just don't have it to do, honey. I don't have that kind of time, because I'm losing sleep at night when I have to deal with her the next day. And I'm under the covers. I got to deal with the mean lady. She's coming in to get her nails done tomorrow. Oh, and I was like, why don't you just have a conversation with her and keep her on as a client? She's like, you don't hear what I'm saying. I don't have to do anything that I don't want to do.
I know that's right.
And it is not about the money, because it's about my peace of mind.
That's right.
And I had to step back from, and I was flat out in her hair. I was like, you know what? Maybe I ought to just start making a list out of, who drains me or who burdens me when they sit in my chair. Yeah. Because just because you're in a, service business doesn't mean you have to put up with emotional stress and abuse and, all that, and then rudeness. Some people, I keep hearing about the restaurant industry struggling and things like that. And I'm like, well, you know what? Probably because people have become rude over the years, and politeness is little to none with customer service. And you have these teenagers making meals at McDonald's, and they're struggling finding, restaurant workers, because the customer service, customers are mean sometimes. Yeah. You have some that are polite. And, when my friend said that, she said, listen, I'm a nail tech. Okay. And I'm not your mom. I'm not your servant. I am not your doormat, and you're not going to walk all over me.
I love it.
And so you're fired. And she fired her client. And I said, I didn't know that could happen.
That's different. That's different. But
but sometimes you have to put up a boundary.
That's
and
right.
It's not being mean. It's just being clear.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
taking
listen,
care of yourself.
exactly. It,
Yeah.
it goes back into the line what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Self-care comes in many
It
forms.
does. You know, you don't want to, it's just like having to get up and go to work to a job that you just hate, that you're miserable, you're surrounded by people that make you miserable. Why are you still going? Because people
Absolutely.
are afraid to step outside the box and try something different. They would rather compromise their happiness than to do what makes them really happy. And
Right.
so I would just challenge women to start loving themselves more. You know, I
Mhm.
start like I'm not perfect. I'm probably need to be doing some of that too and saying some no's to people and firing some people too.
Absolutely.
Gotta go.
Absolutely. You got to preserve yourself, got to preserve your mental,
Yeah.
and, we have to be responsible for the types of energy that we let around us. We have to be selective.
It's
Not
true.
everybody should have access to you.
That's
You
right.
know,
That's right. It's so true. Be careful who you surround yourself with because it's so true. What you put out is what you're going to get back. What you surround yourself with, you're going to start being that. So,
absolutely.
and I believe that. I just believe it.
I
So
do too.
people can feed you so much, and you're starting to be a toxic person, and that's not really who you are. So
Absolutely.
well,
Absolutely.
I just want to say that I cannot wait to get the book again. I'll say that again. It sounds very interesting. And I wish you nothing but success with that book. And once I get it and read it, I will do a review for you and have
Absolutely.
that. But
I would love that.
yes, we'll definitely share it across the board as much as we can. So go ahead and tell people where they can find you on social media sites if you're on social media.
All righty. I am at author Jamila Ewing on Facebook. I am at author Jamila Ewing on Instagram. I have yet to get my Twitter together, but you can find me also on our website, prototypethenovel.com.
Yes.
And I believe that's the three. That's
All
the top
right.
three. Trinity.
All right, you guys, especially
We'll
ladies.
get you a book too. I'd
Yeah,
love to get you a book too.
get the book. But I'm not going to just say ladies. I'm going to challenge the men to go get that book too.
Absolutely.
And read that book and give a
Yes.
review. How about that?
Absolutely.
How about
Because
that?
brothers read too.
That's it.
Give a review because brothers read too.
That's it.
Absolutely.
So, Jamila, thank you so much for coming to the Black Link Experience. You're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
You want to come back, got a new book, you let me know. And
I sure will. Thank you so
we
much.
can make that happen. In the meantime, you guys, we're going to go. Remember to respect yourself, respect each other. God bless you.